Everything in this country has gotten so heavy lately with the celebration of the rise of fascism on the 4th that turned my entire neighborhood into what sounded like a war zone for 3 days. I decided to take a break from my normal content for a much needed comedic relief. Then this came across my FYP.
If you don't like President Trump, then you should move. I'm sure the illegals will give you a ride on their plane. I'm so sick of hearing everybody talking trash about Trump and they don't even know what's going on. So it's real easy. Just pack your bags and move.
So let's break this down. You're essentially using a love it or leave it argument to stifle dissent or disagreement. This type of statement is un American, bigoted, and violating the premise that the United States is a land of differing opinions and priorities. It implies that disagreement is a sign of disloyalty. This couldn't be any further from the truth. We elect officials to do a job, and if they can't do that job, then we need to fire them and find someone who will. Dissent and diversity of opinion are crucial for progress, and suppressing them is harmful. You're, in essence, arguing that democracy should not matter, that we should all align under a regime. That's not freedom. That's fascism. Let me quote George W. Bush. In a free and just society, every person is treated with dignity. In a free and just society, leaders are accountable to those they govern. Where is the accountability when you're groveling like a serf? I'll die on my feet before I ever live on my knees. Trump is what the Republican Party has sadly devolved to, especially when George W. seems sane in comparison. We are focusing on fixing this country, not leaving it. When a toilet backs up, we don't move out. We get a plunger and we flush the shit. Trump was handed a great economy with a strong job market. GDP growth was expanding at a solid 3.1%. Hourly wages were increased by 20% under Biden. The manufacturing sector saw a rebound, as well as breaking a 70-year record low unemployment rate. All he had to do was set it on autopilot, and he could have claimed it was his economy. But he couldn't do that because he's a narcissist. Then let's mix in all the other nonsense coming out of this administration, like taking steps to dismantle the Department of Education, cutting federal education programs, and targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives within the federal government, causing an impact on education and civil rights. This administration has also reduced funding for Pell Grants and federal student loan programs, making it harder for low income students to afford higher education. Shifting FEMA costs to the states reduces our preparedness nationally for natural disasters and has potential to leave hundreds of thousands of people in unimaginable debt and poverty. An executive order has been issued seeking to bar the use of federal funds for gender affirming care for minors and restrict insurance coverage for such care. Never mind that close to 90% of all gender affirming surgeries are done on cisgender people, and zero procedures have been done on anyone who is trans ages 12 and under, according to JAMA. And then cuts to Medicaid. Trump's actions and policies represent a concerted effort to significantly alter and reduce federal spending on Medicaid, which will have a profound impact on beneficiaries, states, and the healthcare landscape as a whole. New immigration enforcement policies have impacted families and due process, including efforts to withhold federal funds from sanctuary cities and restrict asylum claims. They're kidnapping people off the street. Don't even get me started on Alligator Alcatraz and his statements about immigrants being eaten by alligators. I could go on about reasons why Trump is detrimental to America. The question remains, after everything he's done to show you that he could not care less about you, why do you still worship him? If that answer involves him hating the same people you do, then perhaps you need a better moral code and some serious introspection. Perhaps you should start with removing the leopard from your face.